Hello and welcome to No Win, No Fee, the show where all 12 of these contestants are hoping to take home £4,000, and I'm hoping that they don't, because I do not get paid for presenting the show. If one of these people wins the money, then I go away with absolutely nothing. Zero. In fact, the only way I make anything is if they fail to win the £4,000. Then I can put that money in my pocket. So let's meet the people who are standing between me and my fee today. We have Trevor, Nicola, Maurizio, Petra, Nina, Peter, David, Sue, Mark, Abby, Stuart and Paul. Now, you're all complete strangers to one another. You met briefly before the show, and you don't know much about each other apart from those names. And this is a game of assumption and presumption. I'm going to ask you to choose players who you think are going to get a question wrong. So it's sudden death, and it's all about first impressions. There are 12 of you now. I'm delighted to say that in just a few minutes' time, 6 of you will be on your way home. We start as ever by randomly choosing just one of you. So somebody's going to come up first and pick an opponent they think is going to get a question wrong. And it's Abby kicking us off today. I wonder how good a judge of character she is. Let's find out. Abby, join me, please, and choose your question. 2 questions for you. Which one do you want to put to these people in the hope that they'll get it wrong? Top or bottom?
I'm going to take the bottom question, please.
The bottom question. I'm now going to read it to the contestants. You study their reactions, study their faces, pick somebody you think is going to get it wrong. Maybe you've made your mind up already. What number shirt does Michael Owen wear for Liverpool? Nicola's staring very fixedly ahead. Trevor's staring straight at us, very confident looking.
I think I'm going to choose Mina.
Nina. Abby is very much hoping you're going to get this answer wrong. Will you join us now and face your question? So what made you finally plump for Mina?
I just thought she was looking too passé, really, sort of just too...
Nice and blasé.
Nice and blasé, yeah.
OK, Mina, you must get this question right to stay in the game, and you'll have the satisfaction of pushing Abby out. Here's the question, take your time. What number shirt does Michael Owen wear for Liverpool?
I think number 8.
Number 8. If you're right, Mina, you stay in the game. If Michael Owen's shirt has a different number when he plays for Liverpool, then Abby was right to pick you, because you've got it wrong, so Abby stays in. Mina said Michael Owen wears a number 8 shirt. The answer is he wears a number 10, so Mina, you're wrong. Which means Abby, take your place for the next round. And Mina, well, commiserations, but on the whole, I'm happy to say you're out. So somebody's through to the next round. Somebody's a bit closer to my £4,000. Who's going to compete for that place next? And it's Paul. I wonder how good a judge of character Paul is. Join me, Paul, and choose your question. So, take a look round and then take a look at your question. A choice of 2. Which one do you think somebody here is going to get wrong? Will you choose as well as Abby did, top or bottom?
I'll go for bottom. Yeah.
Here it comes. Study their faces. Don't forget Stuart on the end there. He's trying to keep out of our island. Take them all in. TAP, T-A-P, is the national airline of which country? Peter isn't looking there as puzzled as he was. Sue's giving you a nice cheeky half a smile there.
Yeah, I think I'll go for Sue.
Now, it wasn't my choice, it was Paul's choice. Sue, will you join us and face your question? Couldn't have just been the smile, Paul. Why did you pick Sue?
I don't know, she looks a bit mysterious, and I don't think she'll get this one.
Sue, you must get this right to stay in the game. Feeling confident?
No.
Could be bluffing still though, Paul. Here comes that question. TAP, T-A-P, is the national airline of which country? You might want to tell us the way your mind's working if you've narrowed it down to a few options.
Nope.
No?
Nope, I don't want to tell you, and no, I don't want to narrow down my options.
So you've got an answer for us?
I have.
Now you're looking smart. Are you still pleased you chose her, Paul?
Not now.
It's got a bit hot in here all of a sudden, isn't it? Maybe it's just me. So, Sue, do you want to give us your answer?
Yes, but it's not going to be right because I think it's Sweden, but I've got no idea.
The answer is Portugal, so Sue, you are wrong. Paul, you've made it through to the next round, but she gave you a nasty moment there, didn't she? Paul, take your place. Sue, would have been great fun to have you in the next round, but it's even more fun to say goodbye, you're out. So it's about bluff, and it's about general knowledge, and it's about judging people's character, sussing them out. Who's up next? It's going to be Peter, who's got to choose from one of 7 people, somebody who's going to get a question he's selected wrong. Peter, join me. Choose your question. Did you know the answer to Michael Owen's question?
I wouldn't be at liberty to tell you that, Paul.
Because you might still be bluffing, mightn't you?
I might be.
Choose a question, top or bottom. Remember, it's not so much what you know, it's what you think other people know, these other people. Which one are they going to get wrong?
I will go for the bottom.
The bottom question. Here it comes. He's made his decision. A lot wrestling on this. £4,000. Take a look at all their faces. How many brothers were there in the Beach Boys? What about Maurizio? Very quiet, very controlled, very self-contained. Also got David there. He's staring us out. He's trying to psych us out, maybe. Who's it going to be?
I'm going to go for Nicola.
OK, Nicola. He thinks you're going to get this question wrong. Join us now and face your question. The only age that made you select Nicola?
Yeah.
Right. Now, you've got to get this right, Nicola, to stay in the game. Here's the question. How many brothers were there in the Beach Boys? What are you thinking?
I think there were 2.
2 brothers in the Beach Boys. Yeah. If there were 2 brothers, Nicola, you stay in the game and Peter's out. If there were more than 2, then Peter goes through because you'll be wrong. Well, of course, there was Brian Wilson, who wrote most of the songs, musical genius. And of course, there was Carl Wilson, but there was also the late Dennis Wilson. There were 3 brothers. Nicola, you're wrong. Which means Peter wins a place in the next round, and Nicola, I'm happy to say, happy surfing, because you're out. Just 6 people left. Only 50% of those, though, can go through to the next round and a shot at my £4,000. Who's coming up next to choose a question? And it's Petra. Petra, would you join me now and choose your question? You didn't look overjoyed. Would you rather be answering?
Oh, definitely.
OK, well, you've got a choice of 2. Which one do you fancy, top or bottom? Which one are one of these 5 men going to get wrong? The choice is yours.
I'll say top.
The top question. Here it comes. Study their reactions. Which country lost 2 successive football World Cup finals in 1982 and 1986? Who's going to answer that and get it wrong, Petra?
Okay, I'll go for Trevor.
Trevor, she thinks you're going to get this question wrong and she's going to go through to the final round. Let's prove her wrong. Join us and face your question. What made you settle on Trevor?
I have no idea. I was just looking around and I think the others looked pretty confident. I know they could have been bluffing, but I just went with it.
OK. Trevor, here's your question. Which country lost 2 successive football World Cup finals in 1982 and 1986? What are you thinking, Trevor?
Italy, possibly, or maybe France.
A bit more time if you want it.
I think I'll go with Italy.
Italy. Now, if Italy is right, you're through to the next round. If you're wrong, Petra stays in. Trevor said Italy. Petra's banking on him getting this wrong. The answer is West Germany, so Italy is the wrong answer. Which means, Petra, take your place in the next round, And Trevor, it's been great fun knowing you, but I'm happy to say you're out. Just 4 people left, 4 men standing. Who's going to join me in the next round? And it's Stuart. Join me, please, and choose your question. Tough point of the game, this. Mind you, there are no easy points at the game. You've got less people's faces to look at, which narrows the field of choice, though. You've also still got 2 questions. Which one do you want to go for? Which one will somebody here get wrong? Top or bottom? Take your time.
Bottom question.
It's the bottom question. Here we go. Take a look at all their faces. Maurizio, David, and Mark. Ganymede and Europa are satellites of which planet? Think about it, the world of astronomy.
I think I'm going to choose Mark.
Mark, join us now and face your question. Very cool looking still, they're very confident.
Very cool.
1 in 3 chance. Why did you pick him?
He's either very good at double bluff or he hasn't got a clue.
OK. Here's your question, Mark. Take as long as you like. Ganymede and Europa are satellites of which planet?
Jupiter.
Jupiter is the largest planet, and Ganymede and Europa are satellites of that planet. Mark, you are right. Which means, with an audible sigh of relief, Mark is through to the next round. Stuart, I've enjoyed seeing the shirt. It's been great having the pleasure of your company. It's even more fun to say, you're out. 1 place in the final, 2 contestants left standing. Who's up next? And it's David. David, will you join me now, please? Now, of course, Maurizio's got to answer this question, but to give him the same thinking time as the other contestants had, we're going to leave him there just for a moment so he can hear the question you've chosen. Do you want to go for top or bottom? Take your time.
The top one.
The top question. Maurizio, think about it for a second or two, then we'll invite you up to hear your answer. You've got to get this right, though. How many triangles are there on the Union Jack? He's thinking about it. Still think you chose the right question?
I hope so.
Let's find out. Maurizio, join us, please, and face your question. So, still looks quite confident, but maybe a little uncertain. Why did you go for that question?
Well, I knew the answer to the other one myself and assumed that Maurizio might as well.
Right, Maurizio. Take as long as you like. Do a bit of counting, maybe. Maybe guesswork. How many triangles are there on the Union Jack? Quite a tough question, I think. But then, if you know the answer, it's not tough at all. What did you do before Graham, Maurizio?
I would go on a holiday to Dubai.
To Dubai. Lovely. We're all in the same boat. All 3 of us want that £4,000. Maurizio, how many triangles are there on the Union Jack?
I'm gonna go for 8.
If the answer is 8, Maurizio, you are through to the next round. But if you're wrong, David takes that final place. There are 8 triangles on the Union Jack. Maurizio, you are right. Which means take your place for the next round. And David, it's been fun. It's been a laugh. It's even jollier to say goodbye, you're out. And well done to all 6 of you for getting this far. You've managed to eliminate your opponents either because you're a good judge of character, you're clever, or you're just plain lucky. But let's hope you've been paying attention to everybody else's strengths and their weaknesses, because in this round you go head-to-head with each other, and with me, of course. So I hope, sincerely, it's no win, no fee for you, as we all take one step closer to that money. And in round 2, things get decidedly trickier. Judgment of character is now crucial, because I'm going to ask you to choose an opponent before hearing the question. I'll then read that question, and to stay in the game, you've got to tell me if you think your opponent is going to get it right or wrong. And as always, we start by randomly choosing one of you. I wonder who's going to first pick an opponent without having heard that question. And it's Peter. He was a good judge of character in the first round. He chose wisely and well. Can that winning streak continue? Join me now, Peter, and choose your opponent. So you got rid of Nicola there, didn't you?
I did.
On that Beach Boys question. You're not going to see this one until you've chosen an opponent. Either somebody whose face you can read, who you can suss out a bit, or somebody whose general knowledge maybe impressed you.
I'll go for Petra.
Petra, he thinks he's got the measure of you. Let's find out whether he's right or wrong. Will you join us and face your question? Why Petra?
It's a very good name for a girl. Very similar to my own name.
You think there might be a bit of a name bond? Isn't that sweet and superstitious?
Be able to get a good judgment of each other's characters, hopefully.
See, I think he's quite a good bluffer, Petra. I don't think he wants to give away why he chose you. OK, now you, as ever, have got to get the answer to this question right. Before we hear your answer, Peter's got to predict accurately whether you get it right or wrong. Petra, whose autobiography was entitled Moonwalk? She's thinking. What do you think of Petra's reaction so far?
Or rather, her lack of reaction.
Is she going to get it right or wrong, Peter?
Wrong.
Petra, he thinks you're going to get this wrong. Whose autobiography was entitled Moonwalk?
OK, I'm going to go for Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson?
Yep, I am.
Now, if you're right, you stay in the game. But if you're wrong, Peter stays in the game. The answer is Michael Jackson, so you're right. Which means, Petra, you're still in the game. And Peter, hey, it's been great fun, but I'm happy to say, sit down, you're out. So the random lights are flickering. Who's up next? And it's Mark. He answered his question in the first round. How's he going to be at selecting an opponent? Mark, join me now and choose your opponent. This is very simple, Mark. You pick an opponent you think you can read, you've got the measure of. I then read that person a question. Before they answer, you tell me whether they're going to get it right or wrong.
I think I'll take Petra.
So, Petra, he thinks he's got the measure of you. Will you join us and face your question? Must have been something that sent you in Petra's direction. What was it?
The way she kept going like that with her hands.
So you think she's not acting, you think she's going to be very genuine in her response?
Yeah.
She's not going to be trying to bluff you?
She was stony-faced, but her hands were fidgeting.
Because now you've pointed that out, I think she'll do her best to keep them under control. You never know. Petra, as ever, you must get the answer to this question right to stay in the game. What relation to Her Majesty the Queen is Viscount Linley? You didn't look at the hands first then, Mark, did you? You're staring straight at her face. What are you thinking? Lovely smile now, though. She's trying to
confident.
You know, I think she knows this.
Yeah.
I think she knows this. Right or wrong?
I think she's going to get it wrong.
Petra, he doesn't think you know the answer to this. If you get it wrong, you're out of the game. If you get it right, it's goodbye, Mark. What relation to Her Majesty the Queen is Viscount Linley?
OK, I'll say nephew.
You want to say nephew? Stay with nephew?
Yep.
Viscount Linley is, in fact, the Queen's nephew. Petra, you're right. Which means you're still in the game, Petra. And Mark, it's with no little degree of pleasure I say to you, sit down, you are out. So another person bites the dust, settles into the chair, missing out on a chance at £4,000. Who's up next to pick an opponent? And it's Petra who's just dispatched Mark. immediately. Come on up, Petra, and see if you can get rid of somebody else for me. Or maybe go out yourself, because if you make the wrong decision now, you'll be out of the game. You've got to pick an opponent you think you can suss out.
I think I'll go with Paul.
So, Paul, Petra hopes you're going to help her win £4,000, money you want and I want. Come and face your question. Why did you pick on Paul?
I thought Paul was my best bet.
Let's find out, Paul. As ever, you've got to give me the right answer to this question. Bellis is the scientific name of which common flower? What are you thinking? Have you chosen the right person, do you think?
I have my doubts about that now. Okay, but I think he'll get it wrong.
You think he'll get it wrong?
Okay, yeah, he's going to get it wrong.
He's going to get it wrong, Paul. No faith in your botanical knowledge there. You've got to get this right to stay in the game. Bellis, B-E-L-L-I-S, is the scientific name of which common flower?
I can't even remember my botany, but I'd have to go with a bluebell.
The bluebell. Bellis is the scientific name of the daisy. Paul, you're wrong. Which means, Petra, you are still in the game. And Paul, hey, happy days, sit down, you're out. 3 people hoping for £4,000, but I want that money too. Who's up next to pick an opponent? And it's Abby. Abby, you're going to have to earn my money. Will you join me and choose your opponent? So, I suppose it's going to be a fairly quick decision because it's between Petra and Maurizio. Whose reactions can you read the most accurately, do you think?
I'm going to go for Petra.
Now, I think Petra might have other ideas. Let's find out. Petra, join us and face your question. So did Maurizio's stone face put you off, or Petra's expressive features lure you in?
Something like that.
OK. Now, Petra, as ever, you've got to get the answer to this one right to stay in the game. Before we hear your answer, Abby, you've got to tell me whether she's going to get it right or wrong. Here comes the question. In which US state would you find the Aleutian Mountains? Petra's got to get this right to stay in the game.
But I think that she's going to get it wrong.
You think she's going to get it wrong?
Yeah.
If she gets it right, you're out. Petra, you need to give me a right answer on this one. In which US state would you find the Aleutian Mountains?
Okay, I think I'll go with Colorado.
Colorado. Now, if the Aleutian Mountains are in Colorado, Petra, you stay in the game. Abby goes home, but if you're wrong, you'll be out. The answer is Alaska. Petra, you're wrong. Which means, Abby, you're still in the game. And Petra, I'm happy to say, sit down, because you're out. 2 contestants left, Abby and Maurizio. But who is going to be answering the question, and who's going to be predicting whether that answer is wrong or right? Let's find out. And it's Maurizio, but of course, only Abby is left in the game with him. So Abby is going to answer the question, and Maurizio is going to tell us whether she's going to get it right or wrong for £4,000. Will you please both join me? Very tense moment for Abby, for Maurizio, and of course for me, because if they fail, I get £4,000. Now, Abby, as ever, you must get this answer right. Maurizio, before we hear the answer, you've got to tell me whether she's going to get it right or wrong. Now, if Abby is right, and you say she's going to get it right, you're both still in the game. But if she's wrong, and you say she's going to get it wrong, you get £4,000. Here's my favourite option, though. You say she's going to get it right. She gets it wrong. She gets nothing, you get nothing. I get £4,000. Yep. A lot of money. Here's Abby's question. What's her reaction? Abby, who was the first black captain of the England football team? Don't say anything. It's her versus you and me for £4,000. Is she going to get this right or wrong?
I'm going to say wrong.
You think she's going to get it wrong? Abby, if you get this right, you've won yourself £4,000. If you get it wrong, you've won Maurizio £4,000. Either way, I'm going to get nothing for presenting the show today. Here's the question. We need an answer. Who was the first black captain of the England football team?
I'm going to have to guess and say Les Ferdinand.
If Les Ferdinand is the answer, you've won £4,000. If it's not, Maurizio is today's winner. The answer is Paul Ince. Abby, I'm afraid you're wrong. So, commiserations, Abby. Sit down, I'm afraid you're out. But congratulations to Maurizio, who has won £4,000. Which means, look out, Dubai, he's coming your way with an awful lot of cash, and I'm going home on the bus with absolutely nothing. Join us the next time we play No Win, No Fee. No win, no fee for me today. I wonder what will happen on the next show. Bye for now. Bye.